The beautiful Eastern Cape town of Port Alfred on the banks of the mighty Kowie River comes alive each September for the annual Mutual and Federal Universities Boat Race. The 4 days not only provides an opportunity for some of the finest rowing talent in the country to display their wares, but is also a grand social occasion, bringing together students from 10 universities all over the country, as well as parents and friends, enjoying the camaraderie that is synonymous with sport and rowing in particular.
Thanks.
The university's boat race has developed a proud history and tradition over 27 years. The course is the same length as the Oxford-Cambridge boat race, namely 6.2 kilometres. The women row 4.2. The start is at Rabbit Rocks with numerous bends. The course can be treacherous. Proceedings started on the finals day with a row-off for 7th and 8th positions in the ladies' regatta. Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University took on Fort Hare University, two of the novice crews. And it was Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University who prevailed to take 7th place. For the first time, the regatta included a novice category, and crews from Fort Hare University and Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University took to the water. These were crews of 4s, and they rowed just over 3 kilometres. The race for 3rd and 4th place was taken by a combined crew from the University of Johannesburg and Fort Hare University. The final involved crews from Fort Hare University and the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. And the Fort Hare A crew were in fine form, winning as they eventually did in 5 minutes 30.80 seconds. The university's boat race depends a great deal on loyal sponsors like Mutual and Federal.
We've now been involved in this race for over 7 years, and what we've seen over the years is actually the number of entries and the number of crews attending growing every year. It seems to be becoming more and more popular. And talking to a lot of the people today and yesterday, it seems that this is probably, from an atmosphere point of view, the most successful boat race that we've been involved in so far. But the nice thing is we're seeing crews that 3 years ago were not even here. Wits had fallen out of the scene for a while. 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago they came back. They're now winning events, and that is a pleasing thing. Is that the strong sides remain strong, but they're now starting to be challenged by sides that haven't challenged them for a while. And hopefully some of the development crews in the next 2 or 3 years will be up there challenging for top spots in the main races. Rowing had a reputation of being a bit of an elitist sport, and in fact this year for the first time we've invited development crews down, and there's special races for development crews which we've helped sponsor them to try and bring more depth into the sport for the future. Good luck to everyone. As I said to the crews last night, the real message is enjoy it. Get what you want to get out of it, and as long as you succeed in that, you've probably had a very good weekend.
Back down to the start of the women's event and the race for 5th and 6th places between the University of Stellenbosch and the University of KZN Maritzburg campus, starting at Centenary Park. Stellenbosch, stroked by Pauline de Kock. They're on the stroke side, the left-hand side of the river, and Maritzburg, stroked by Hayley Hounsome, on the bow side, or the right-hand side. Plenty of support from the banks as the crews round one of the difficult bends. And it was Stellenbosch University who were the stronger crew, crossing the line nearly 25 seconds ahead of KZN Maritzburg. Oh, the student life. The race for 3rd and 4th places pitted the crews of University of Johannesburg, winners of the competition 3 times since 2002, against UCT, winners in 1991 and 2002. University of Johannesburg on the bow side. They made a great start under stroke Georgina Engelbrecht. And despite a gallant surge by the UCT 8, the crew from UJ were able to hold their line and their nerve to claim 3rd place overall. To the final now, here's the crew from Wits University.
My name is Gisela Bicheli. I'm 20 years old and I'm doing a general BSc at Wits University.
Katie Lambert, I'm 19 years old and I'm doing a BSc OT at Wits.
Helen Jarvis, I'm 19 years old and I'm doing a general BA at Wits.
Hi, I'm Rita Duplessis. I'm 22 years old and I'm studying a BXI.
Hi, I'm Claudia Hazelwood. I'm 22 years old and I'm doing a BXI. Hi, I'm Georgina Westcott. I'm 22 years old and I'm studying medicine.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Rolando. I'm studying a BA at Wits and I'm 19.
My name is Meredith Stevens. I'm 18 years old. I'm studying LLB Law at Wits University.
Hi, my name is Ronna Jackson. I'm 23 years old and studying PGCE at Wits.
Hi, my name is Matt Huber. I'm the Wits Eagles coach.
And their opponents in the final, two-time defending champions, Rhodes University.
Bridget Ellender, 22, LLB.
Sasha Stevenson, I'm 23 and studying an LLB.
Mikey Thornycroft, 20, Bachelor of Science.
Rose Thornycroft, 22, BSc Honours. I'm Alex van Besso, 20 years old, studying Fine Arts.
Roxanne Zarsberger, age 20, studying a Bachelor of Science.
Rebecca Peterson, 20, BSc LLB.
Tara Borden, 20 years old, studying a BA in HKE.
Eva Maria Burford, age 24, Bachelor of Science.
Hi, I'm John Moon. I'm the coach of the Women's A Crew at Rhodes University.
So the crew's all set, and a sense of great anticipation hangs over the start of the women's final. This for the Isis Blade, presented in 1988 for the first time to Wits University. To take us through the race, here's Sean Kerr.
And we see the crews going off from the start. Wits with a slightly different course to Rhodes as they come out of the blocks. Slightly staggered start up at the ladies' start, and both crews getting off to quite a clean start here. Both crews racing at around 32 strokes a minute, and you'll hear me talk of rate through the rest of the race. Wits starting to move away in the early stages of this race. Almost half a length in it now as they move through the first straight through Centenary Park. A very tactical race this on the Kowie River. Both tidal and stream. Cox is looking for deep water. The deep water is the fast water, and we see the Cox from Wits, Bronwyn Jackson, choosing a very good line early on in this race. Very tactical race this for Coxes on the Kowie River. Wits now almost a length and a half up. Rhodes, you see, stuck in a little bit of rough water. As they come around the first corner, very clearly the corner is advantageous to Wits. Rhodes having to row around the outside of the corner, probably adding about 150 meters to their race. See the Rhodes girls talking to each other there, keeping each other motivated, very determined here in the front of the Rhodes boat. The Rhodes Cox being the only one in the Rhodes boat that can see what's happening, so she has a mammoth task of keeping her crew motivated, keeping them going now with almost 2 lengths in it to Wits University. Both crews still at around 32 strokes a minute. But what we do start to notice is a much more efficient rowing stroke from the Rhodes crew. A lot cleaner in the water. Very together, very committed. Wits now having found a bit of rough water. Being warned there for their steering, you see the Cox acknowledging that. And Rhodes have come right back on Wits University as they move through the Bay of Biscay. Right next to each other, matching each other stroke for stroke, and Rhodes are starting to move. Level as they come through almost the end of the Bay of Biscay. Rhodes now have the inside corner as they come into the final straight. This corner again almost worth 150 meters to a crew. Wits Cox steering a little wide, almost opening the door there for Rhodes University as they come around the final corner. Very clean, efficient rowing here from Rhodes University, helping them through on the inside of this corner. To the naked eye, both crews looking very neat, but you can just see the Rhodes crew getting a little more cover between their strokes. Their boat running a little further as they start to move away from Wits. Certainly not giving up here, the Wits University crew. Very young crew, good to see them in the final. They'll be back for another race next year, but it's Rhodes University now, almost 3 lengths up on Wits. Coming up to what we term the Old Bridge in Port Alfred. Very neat and together Rhodes University there in the background. See the pain starting to show on the Wits faces. The banks lined with supporters, frantically driving around in cars, trying to get an advantage point to watch their crew come through. But it is Rhodes now. Rhodes know they have it in the bag. They will start to hear the crowds on the bank. This is obviously the home of Rhodes rowing. A lot of support for Rhodes on this river. Wits not given up. There you see the local crowds coming through and supporting the Rhodes girls in this, their A final of the Ladies A event. Almost 5 lengths in it now as they come up to the line. The banks lined with purple as Rhodes come through the second bridge here in Port Alfred. 100 meters to go. And a convincing win here for the Rhodes University. They know they have it. The crowds know they have it. Five strokes to go as they cross the line as the 2007 winners of the university's boat race.
A superb race by the Rhodes crew to win the Isis Plate for the 13th time in the 3rd year in a row, and in front of what essentially is a hometown crowd. Absolutely fantastic. Great atmosphere, and the Rhodes 8 will be so chuffed with that. Confirming that result, 2nd place to Wits University. UJ take 3rd, UCT 4th, the Marties in 5th place, the KZN Pietermaritzburg campus in 6th, then Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University and Fort Hare University from East London, finishing in the wooden spoon position. The rowing over the Mutual Federal Boat Race weekend was not confined to the water, with land-based races in the form of indoor racing on the ergo machines. The 500-metre time trials were won by Fort Hare A.
It's always a good function. First of all, Mutual and Federal put on a very good show, but apart from that, it's a regatta that the students love. It's based on the UK Oxford-Cambridge race. It's rowed over the same distance, 6.5 kilometres, and as you can see from the conditions, they row in very flat water, but also, as is happening now, the wind's coming up, getting stronger and stronger, and they really enjoy it, whatever. I think pain comes into it, but enjoyment certainly.
Now back to the racing and the men's finals. UCT crew, stroked by Julian Carlson, took on the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University 8, stroked by Shane Reynolds. This for the last 2 positions in the regatta, and it was UCT, who last won the boat race in 2001, who won by 37 seconds. Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University finished in last place. Next up were the crews of Wits University, the original boat race winners back in 1980, and the University of KZN Pietermaritzburg campus, who won the boat race back in 81 and 84. Wits stroked by Stephen Coomber on the stroke side, and KZN on the bow side, stroked by Gareth Forbes. The Maritzburg campus crew had in fact rowed at Henley this year. Great international experience, but it was Wits who powered through the last quarter of the race to win by 16 seconds and take 5th place. The race for 3rd and 4th was between 2004 and 2005 winners, University of Johannesburg, and Stellenbosch University, have yet to win the Cambridge Rudder. UJ, stroked by Kevin Milan, were on the bow bank, while the Marties, with Adam Pickard, the stroke, were on the stroke side. Early on, UJ held sway, but heading into the first bend, there was a clash of blades and the race was stopped. The umpire had them separated and they were off again. It was tense and close racing again. In the end, though, UJ pulled through to win by 16 seconds and claimed third place. The final of the M&F University's boat race. Now let's meet the crew from University of Pretoria.
Matthew Britton, 20 years old, BSc Actuarial Science.
James Thompson, 20 years old, studying B-Sport Science. I'm captaining the 8 this year.
Heinz Swart, 23, Electronic Engineering Honours.
Murray Chandler, 20 years old, BCom Entrepreneurship.
CJ Swart, 22, studying Construction Management.
Simon Chittenden, 20 years old, and I'm doing a BA English degree.
Warwick Mabry, 20, studying Animal Science.
Matt Linforth, 19, studying BA Visual Studies.
Mark Newby, 21, studying Commerce.
I'm Grant Dodds, the coach of the Tux Men's 8.
Now their opponents, Rhodes University.
Andrew Craig, age 23, doing a Masters in Mathematics.
Jonathan Handley, 20, BSc in Zoology.
Name's Ryan Palmer, 25. I'm doing a Masters in Ichthyology and Fishery Science.
Patrick Matashek, 19, BA Law.
My name's Kevin Aitchison, I'm 20 and I'm studying BA Law.
Edgar Supian, I'm 19, doing a BFA.
Grant Bursey, 20, Journalism and Political Sciences.
Bradley Smith, 23, BA Human Kinetics and Ergonomics.
Roberta Arnold, 19, doing a BA in Journalism and Law.
I'm Samuel Wells, I'm coach of the Rhodes men's boat.
So it came down to this, a shootout between the defending champions and 13-time winners Rhodes and the novices in a final, Tuckies. A classic coastal versus inland clash. To take you through the drama of the race, here's Sean Kerr.
So Tux and Rhodes off from the men's start. The men's start 6.2 kilometres up the river. Both crews off to a very clean start here. The idea in the start is to get off as quickly as possible and then settle down into a long working rhythm. It's not a 2,000 metre sprint, so the rates are slightly lower. We see the crews just settling into their rhythm here. Matthew Britton and James Thompson, the stern pair of the Tux boat here in picture now. Silver medalists at the Under-23 World Championships in the coxless pair. We see just behind these crews the two umpires' boats, followed by the media and cameramen. And just behind that, you also notice the flotilla of support in this event. Rhodes with an early advantage here as they move around the first long bend down to the ladies' start. Both coxes choosing a very different line on the river. The Kowie River being Rhodes' home for training, certainly have the advantage on this river. They know the river very well. The crews from out of town having to spend the week before the event getting used to the tides, getting used to the stream, understanding where the sandbanks are. Rhodes moving away here on the early stage of this race. A tactic that have been followed by the Rhodes men for many years. Trying to stamp their domination on the crew from out of town early on in the event, knowing that they still have 4 or 5 kilometres to race. This is very much a cox's race, not taking anything away from the athletes, but the corners on the Kowie River are a lot sharper than those on the Thames that the Oxford and Cambridge coxes need to negotiate. So things get a little tight as crews come around the first corner. Here we see the Rhodes crew moving up to the first corner, being the ladies' start at Centenary Park. And this is essentially where the crowds can also get a first glimpse of the crews coming through. We see Rhodes now taking the corner quite sharply. Rhodes with clear water between them. They now have freedom of the river, not having to stay on their bow-side bank. The Tux Cox you see raising his hand there, thinking that Rhodes are in his water. He certainly can appeal to the umpire if he feels that Rhodes are infringing on his water, but Rhodes are well clear here, so have freedom of the river. These crews would have raced in a head race on the Thursday before the final. The head race is essentially a race against the clock, which determines how the crews are then placed into the first and second final. Lots of experience in the Rhodes boat we see there in the background. Many of the members of that crew have won this race before. They know what it takes, and we see them moving away here from Tux. With the two crews in your picture now, we see the Rhodes crew slightly higher rating than the Tux boat. 34 strokes a minute from the Rhodes University crew, as opposed to the 32 from Tux. Just to put that into perspective, Rhodes then taking 2 extra strokes a minute. That's almost 2 lengths more a minute that Rhodes are putting into Tux as they move through into the Bay of Biscay. Tux certainly not having given up yet. With Tux having putting in a really good push through the Bay of Biscay, we see them having moved right up against Rhodes now, only a length between them as they move into the final straight, having gone around the bend. Rhodes from Tux. Both boats now at around 34 strokes a minute. The Tux Cox desperately trying to get every last inch out of his crew. A really good surge here from the University of Pretoria as they come up into the final straight. They've made back quite a bit of water on Rhodes. Both Coxes aiming for the far bank. That is the shortest distance down to the finish line. Rhodes support starting to come through as they come up to the line. Tux really have moved well here in this final straight and have moved right back on Rhodes University. We really have seen close racing all weekend, just showing how the quality of university rowing has improved over the last couple of years. We saw the lead change several times in the ladies' race, and a very close race here between Rhodes and Tux, as Tux moved back on Rhodes University. Might be a little too late. A phenomenal amount of support here for their home crew. The Rhodes supporters encouraging their crew, the Rhodes crew taking as much support from the crowd as they can. And Tux really moving up on Rhodes now, only half a length clear between the two crews as they move through the second bridge. Both Coxes making absolutely sure that their crews are giving every last inch of energy. Lots of support here from the Rhodes crowd, but it is Rhodes University coming through to win the 2007 Men's A Final. 1.5 lengths ahead of the University of Pretoria.
A fantastic performance again by Rhodes University. 2 crews with very, very different emotions. Devastated are Tuckies, elated are Rhodes University. For the 14th time, they are the winners. Celebrations all round and richly deserved. The salute for Rhodes University, their men's 8 dominant once again at the University Boat Race. Confirming that dominance with Tuckies in second place, UJ, Stellenbosch and Wits, third, fourth and fifth, with Pietermaritzburg in 6th place, UCT 7th, and the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University in 8th and last place. The Cambridge Rudder was presented by the Cambridge University Engineers Association back in 1980, and it's back again in the Rhodes Clubhouse. Champagne and the traditional Cox's swim. And it's a double for Rhodes University for the second year on the trot. The Rhodes ladies crew collects the Isis Blade for the 13th time. And as the Cox takes her traditional swim, we say goodbye from the boat race. See you next year.
Okay, so what exactly do you want me to say?
Did I have to look at it for like a long time afterwards?
It's Vets, isn't it? Vets that we're racing?
My name is 20 years old.
I can't like man.
I have to go and comb my hair or something.
Yeah, game face.
LLB.
I'm studying a BXI.